Welcome, Glitchies, to another storytelling video. I'm your host, Purple Glitch. I've got at least more than one story this time that'll hopefully bring forth your inner nightmares. Now then, let's start. This story is by Hoverboard18. It happened a long time ago when I was at least 5 to 6 years old. As a child, I unfortunately suffered sleep hallucinations. The hallucinations were mainly the same, dark-shadowed humanoid creatures. They would come towards me at night, but when I blinked, they repeat themselves. Wait. What does that mean, repeating themselves? Like, do they keep appearing? Or do you mean like they go back to square one and then come towards you again? Well, whatever, let's keep going. It was an overall terrifying experience. One night, I worked up the courage to go to my parents' room, which was upstairs. My room being the farthest from the stairs that led upstairs. It was terrifying. As I slowly walked down the hallway, I struggled to keep myself from running and hiding in my bed. I slowly made my way through the hallway, and as I timidly turned the corner, I saw it. It was a huge creature that had long arms and legs and sharp claws. It was pitch black except for the 3 white lines on its chest. It took all I had in me not to scream. I raced back to my room and hid under my covers. I don't see it anymore, but I know deep down that thing will always haunt me. Story by KK Pupper. In my old home, this old couple died, so we got it for real cheap. Weird stuff happened all the time. Light switches flipped on and off, the kitchen faucet would tip up, and the sink would be flooded. Sometimes at night, if you stayed up late, you could hear footsteps going down the hall, down to the left, and in the morning, that door would be open. Our dog would sit in the corner of the living room in the morning and stare at the love seat, but refuse to go near it for the next 3 hours, etc. But we could live with that. What we couldn't live with, however, was the voices. It was horrible and unpredictable. Sometimes it was at night, sometimes when my mom was making lunch, but every couple of days someone would call our name. Someone that sounded familiar to family, but different. And it was always when we were alone. Either someone was sleeping or someone was at work, but not once did 2 people hear it at the same time. And somehow, that made it so much worse. Being called, walking into a room you were called from, not seeing anyone, followed by the realization that you're the only one at home. It terrifies us to the very core. And you had no one there to comfort you. Before this next story starts, I would like to apologize for any rain you might hear in the background. It started raining during this point of the recording, but hey! At least it provides good ambience. Anyways, on to the next story. Story by Comical Vanessa. We had some bad paranormal experiences, especially one night. My older step-sibling, whom I got along with pretty well, and I were staying up. I was drawing on her computer because I had a crappy one at the time. We had heard scraping and whispering in the kitchen, which at the time was dark and had some stuff in the kitchen sink. Our parents were in the bedroom sleeping and watching TV. It was summer, so we usually did this as long as we stayed quiet. Anyways, she told me to shush and we listened. I heard Shh, they're listening. We went to investigate and found that knife used for cooking that night had been moved a bit, which would explain the scraping sounds. Our little sibling was asleep and she was too small regardless to reach for it. So after some talking, we set up an old camera of mine, fully charged, mind you. This will come into importance later. After doing some documenting on film of what we heard, I sat it on the microwave facing the sink and back door. We ended up staying up and just listening for a bit. After a while we heard some tapping. My older sis got up and stayed up by my side. I think she was recording on her phone. Suddenly we heard what sounded like 2 dog feet on the floor, in what was supposed to be the dining room. But our youngest, whom surprisingly didn't wake up during this, had slept in there. It sounded like a dog's claws walked across a hard wood floor. We only heard one set of 2 feet. Her and I screamed and bolted out of the living room, our sleeping area. And through tears and squeals, we banged on our parents' door. We busted in and cried to my dad about what we had heard. We went back after calming down. This thing, whatever it was, drained a full battery, and keep in mind, it was only in there for about half an hour, at most. That thing could last up to 12 hours before fully dying. The battery was almost gone and had stopped recording. When we went to watch to see if we caught any sounds and us screaming, it was gone. It cut right before it happened. So this thing was probably messing with us. But we know what we heard. Anyways, that's all the stories for now, Glitchies. I hope you enjoyed some good nightmares.
See you soon.